And the angle, the
And
one angle there, it really is the Mae Young Mark Henry angle. A
oh
lot of
yeah,
ridiculous in the early
I
2000s.
know it was, man. It just made a
But
lot
there
of
was a lot of
sense
good stuff
there.
too from WWE. There was a lot of
So you're
good like
never going to start with bad?
Oh yeah. Well, we should probably we usually start off with the good angles in wrestling, but we'll definitely save that for a later time because that was a stupid one. I just couldn't have.
Horrible.
Horrible, way horrible, dudes. All right, there. Good evening, everybody. It's a Thursday evening here. Me, YR, and Arknolia Bean, and we're going to try and get Famouth Ken on to the call here, as detailed in the description and title here. And tonight, we're going to be discussing probably maybe one of the most best and worst wrestling angles of all time there. Now, there was some good damn angles that we had throughout the years, like the NWA back in the 80s, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA versus the original Four Horsemen. And of course, later on, the angle between Vince McMahon as Mr. McMahon and Stone Cold
yo.
Steve Austin.
See if Carlos Cabral wants to join the show.
Well, let's see. Let's see.
I'll add Sean.
Let's definitely get that dude on. It's been a while. I think he was live earlier today, and
I
hope
don't
he,
think
he
Ken's gonna come on.
Buckshot, how the
We have
fuck
to.
can I help
We have,
you?
I think we have to
well,
pay Ken for him to come on the show here. So I don't think he's gonna come on for free. But Byrd, how you doing, brother?
hello, Byrd. What's up, man?
We're live?
We're live. Yep, on my end here. That's right.
Oh,
Let's
well,
go,
good,
Byrd.
because there's something I want. There's something you guys need to hear.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! Oh, dude. What the fuck? What the hell, man? What the heck? What was that all about, Byrd?
Well,
Hey,
apparently
you,
we've just gone into the crap.
y'all called me.
I
What's up?
called. No, that's what's going on, man. What the heck was that, man?
I took a piss.
I know. Yeah, we heard that. That's what Keith usually that used to do a lot of times when he
No,
was on the
Keith stole that
program.
gimmick. He stole that gimmick from me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. By the way, I tried to DM Keith, last night there, to see how he's doing there. No response
He
just yet there.
I heard he died.
No, I don't. I doubt if he's. From what I understand, from YR said he got a girlfriend and stuff. It's like, wow, interesting there.
If he's got a girlfriend, I hope she's above the age of 10.
Come on.
Oh shit. Oh,
You
dude.
can't say that because I did it yesterday.
Oh, who gives a fuck? Sue me.
All right. Okay.
Of course, I went with 15 instead of 10.
Oh,
All right there. So we're live right now as we speak on my channel there. So I figured we start off with the best wrestling gimmicks. I think we should probably start off with, of course, the Attitude Era. One of the main storylines: Vince McMahon as Mr. McMahon versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'll explain why this one was probably one of the biggest, because here was the working class man sticking it to the corporate boss, who in the beginning tried to get the working class man to be what the corporate boss wants him to be. And a lot of people don't like that kind of stuff. Austin, the character, was not, he was not accepting of being a corporate individual there. And of course, this pissed off Mr. McMahon, and then he decides to go against Mr. McMahon, and that's when all wars has broke loose between the two sides there.
you got to think about how the world was at that time, though, around the late '90s, because
Yep.
I was young. I was like 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old at that time.
Yeah.
And if I'm correct, the world was going through a change in pop culture. Like the anti-heroes were
The
supposedly
heroes.
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Earl, YR, you guys, and who else is on this call?
Well, it's just me, YR, and the
Arknolia.
Arknolia there. We tried to get
Okay.
Ken on the call here,
No,
but he's unavailable.
you two definitely would know the most, would understand this, because at that time, the world And by the world, I mean the United States. Like most of it,
Yep.
everybody at that time was just sick of your typical everyday. Like
Yep.
where there's like 9 to 5, come home to a nagging bitch wife. You turn on Monday Night Raw, you see Steve Austin beat the living hell out of Vince McMahon. You see Vince McMahon getting hit, his ass beat by Steve Austin, getting doused in beer from a beer truck. Like you want to talk about good stories? Here's a story, in my opinion, that's very underrated,
Hmm.
and it's the Nation versus the D-Generation X
Oh,
rivalry.
yeah, I was looking at that earlier today when I was getting things ready there. That when they mocked the Nation there, Triple H was the Croc, and I guess what are the guys? I think it may have been X Pac posed as Ms. Henry or something like that.
Ms.
There,
Mark Henry.
Miss Hark Henry. Yep.
It's sad that I know this, and I'm young as fuck.
Yep.
You see being bad. Take it away
Okay,
from him.
can I bring one up?
Wait a minute. Wait a
This
hold on.
goes way back. Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me get something up here. Says due to a copyright match, your stream is interrupted.
What?
Streams, yeah, that's why I just got to my Gmail. Streams are interrupted when copyright intent is detected. After
Didn't
no,
play anything.
exactly, but it may be
Did you say somebody's name? I mean, what the heck?
no.
Kills it.
All right, there. Let's see if we could do this. Let's try this again.
We're alive. Oh yeah.
All right, there.
But I missed the AEW show last night.
All right, there.
And
Wow.
that thing was hyped up to be like a damn pay-per-view.
Yeah. It was good.
All right, there.
I didn't see it. I just know Britt Baker and Adam Page got the living shit kicked out of them. So I know the Outcast and the Jericho Society are now intertwined with each other.
I see there. So let's form you the two factions, I guess.
Yeah,
All right.
this is what AEW needs is more factions.
Yeah, it's true. There are a lot more heel. And one thing I've noticed that we're missing is a lot more heel managers.
You gotta remember, this isn't the '80s.
I know. Yeah, it's different now.
You're not gonna
Yeah,
have
you miss guys like the Mouth from the South.
Or
you're not
Bobby
gonna
the
have a
Brain.
Bobby Heenan.
Hmm.
You're not gonna have a Bobby
Yeah.
Heenan or Jimmy Hart manage your freaking
Right.
top heels.
And right now, the only one that comes close to that
Or
is
Jim
Paul
Cornette.
Heyman. Now, I know he was one of the great ones there.
Yeah, he's all right.
Right.
Paul Heyman's got him beat.
Right. Let's see here. See if I'm live on my channel here. Give me a couple minutes here.
Who the fuck just tried calling me? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear us, this show is brought to you by the Great Dilda. You can buy 2 for 1 dildas tonight
Shit.
with coupon code 222-6969. Dr. Earl's fan page. Oh yes.
All right.
Well, the first angle I want to start with happened years ago.
All right.
80s, I think. Mid-South Wrestling, when Bill Watts was running it.
Mm-hmm.
Ted DiBiase was going to have a match with Ric Flair for the championship. And they were in there talking, getting ready for the match.
Mm-hmm.
And Dirty Dick Murdoch comes down, interrupts it, and tells DiBiase, hey, let me have him. it's my go. You can do him another time, and on and on and on. Oh, he's cut bad. He's cut here. He's cut there. Whatever.
Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, Mike, go right ahead, man.
And pretty much everybody knows that when they blade on the forehead, it bleeds badly, but it doesn't really do any damage per se. But it looks gruesome.
It is.
Well, anyway, they get him later in the match or later in the program, and they tell him, "Oh, he's a gamer. He's going to want to come out." He comes out. His head's all bandaged up. He's got all kinds of bandages around. This stuff's on YouTube, by the way, if you ever want to go watch it.
Yeah, I definitely got it. Yeah,
and they start the match, and of course, DiBiase's kind of like he's out of it or whatever, but he's holding his own. He's doing good. He's getting Flair in a little bit of trouble and all. And then Murdoch shows up again. And Murdoch takes him out, hits him with a pile driver again, and pretty much takes him out of the match. And Flair's, of course, declared the winner. But to watch all this transpire, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it was quite the little angle. They played it out the whole show.
I know, I see, yes. I know, it was like, boy, babe, it was kind of funny. My favorite angle have to be, of course, the angle between, one of the first angles I remember was the beef between Cyndi Lauper, the singer, and Roddy Piper. And the story behind that was simply, Captain Lou Albano gets, he's featured in some of the Cyndi Lauper's old videos, including Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And then, of course, he gets starstruck. And he does things. Look at all this, what the captain has done for Cyndi. Look what that I've done for Cyndi. And then, of course, Piper invites Lauper on to Piper's pit. Roddy Piper, of course, rest in peace. And then he says, and she says simply, I love Lou, but he's not my manager. And then Captain Lou comes out, starts giving her a lot of lip. Piper starts giving her a lot of lip. What this man has done for you. Look what I've done. And all of a sudden, she rips Lou Albano's shirt wide open, and a tussle comes out and starts going crazy. Everybody starts going crazy and stuff. The audience is all revved up. And then all of a sudden, we get the brawl to settle it all. It was between the Fabulous Moolah, represented by Captain Lou Albano, and Wendy Richter, represented by Cyndi Lauper. They have their match, and then all of a sudden, Wendy Richter becomes the new WWF Women's Champion. And and out of anger, Fabulous Moolah drop kicks the referee for making the count. But the fault was actually at Moolah because she tried. Yep. Go ahead.
Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
What is your favorite wrestler of the era when you started watching? Just one. You got to name one.
Roddy Piper, because it was his personality. It was the way he cut his promos. It was the way he delivered his words. Like, actually, when I discovered him, it was all by accident. It was of course, it was so-and-so minute and whatever, how many minutes it would last. Piper's Pit. We usually come about in between the program because back then it was about an hour long. It was basically called Superstars of Wrestling. And back then they used other people's music. They would start to show with the Michael Jackson tune. I guess it was called Thriller. It would have images of Hulk Hogan walking out to Madison Square Garden to take on the Sheik and the Iron Sheik. And they would... But Piper's, persona, he was like, this crazy guy. I would watch all these matches just to get to watch Piper's Pit, to watch his character. And of course, it'd be about 2 or 3 minutes long there. But then again, you got to see the other angles between. Go ahead. What?
Have you ever seen Piper's penis?
Oh, my God, please, dude.
I go
And,
ahead. My bad.
oh yeah. Anyways, anyways, the funny thing about Piper is that he was the way he would deliver his lines. He did a lot of infamous acts himself. He had some pretty damn good angles himself. Let's not forget the beef he had with Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Remember hitting Snuka with coconut? That was a classic on its own self there. And let's not forget the beef he had with Hulk Hogan many times, leading up to the very first WrestleMania. Of course, Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, taking Piper's side, and of course, Mr. T joining in with Hogan for that particular event, which me and my dad saw when it was with closed circuit TV. It was called then, but it was simulcast all over every sporting arena across the states. There, it was at Madison Square Garden. It was in May of 1985. And me and Dad drove down to Cobo Arena to see it live there. This big ass screen, and the place was packed. Believe it or not, it was packed.
Do you remember when Hulk Hogan first got to the WWF from the one in Minnesota
Not really
when he was
that
Terry
much.
Bollea?
Or
Well, it's funny because when he came in,
mhm.
he was a heel.
Yes, I remember he was managed
When
by
he first,
Go ahead,
yeah, he was managed by,
Classy Freddie Blassie.
yep,
Mm, that's right. He was the
what
bad
was it?
guy.
What was that organization in Minnesota with Vern Gagne?
Oh yeah, Vern Guy. Oh, the AWA, the American Wrestling Association. Gene
Right.
Okerlund was
Okay.
involved. Bobby Heenan was involved.
And that's where Terry Bollea got his start.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Roddy Piper, too.
That's it. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess he decided to leave that company
Randy
and
Savage.
the Randy Savage, the Macho Man. Yeah. Oh, by the way, you got to look at this promo between Macho Man, his brother Lanny Poffo. Rest in peace to both of them. Doing this promo against the Rock and Roll Express, and towards the end, Savage was definitely savage at this point. There, he was.
Hmm.
Here's Lanny talking about
He
I
had the
stand for.
perfect voice.
Absolutely, there, and the perfect persona, the perfect look when he was angry and pissed off. There, here's Landy talking about I stand for courage, I stand for unity. No, did the Rock and Roll Express believe in pleasures of sins of the flesh? Leading these young people there. I stand for courtesy. I stand for, and here's Macho Man hitting himself with a steel chair on his forehead, throwing the child out, and Macho Man going off on Gordon. What was his name? What's that broadcaster's name that used to work, who later worked for the USWA? I think it said, what was it, Gordon Soley? I think it was. Not Gordon Soley.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
no, it's Gordon Soley. And son of a name goat. I gotta find that name once again. There, blah blah blah. Let's see here. All right, there. US Day, US. Let me get here. Give me a couple of. USWA. Okay, there. Okay. Let's see what we got here. In fact, it's unfortunate it was not there. What's his name? Members, Lunanon members. Let's see here. We got here Jim Cornette, Don Gilbert. What is this?
Brown, you think Jim Cornette's Illuminati?
I don't know. I don't know. It'd probably be probably Lunanami don't want him involved at this point. Believe it or not. I know he's not going to go back to the WWE the way he dogs them, the way he did. I'm looking at their members of the all the roster in there. I'm looking for the broadcaster's name. Damn, there's so much in there. Brickhouse Brown, rest in peace. Miss Texas, Chris Adams, Tori Adams, Robert Fuller, Ron Fuller, Kenny and Kevin Von Erich, the Hornet, Richard Lee, Bruiser, the Power Twins, which was Larry and David Power, the Gambler, the Texas Hangman, Marty Jannetty, the Masters of Terror. Man, what's trying to find that guy's? Oh, Billy Travis. I remember the angle with him. And what's his face there? Axel Rotten, Ian Rotten, Techno Team 2000. Brockus, Chris Champion, Scott Studd, and Terry Gordy from the Fabulous Freebirds.
Terry
Yep.
Gordy, fucking Terry Gordy. I don't fucking like Terry fucking Gordy.
Oh, Stan Lane was involved. Sabu, who later joined the ECW there.
It's Sabu. I'm from Queens, New York, dude.
I guess Sabu is from the Dearborn, Michigan, if I'm correct there. I guess he's related to the original Sheik, who resides from the same area there.
I just shit my drawers, man.
Lance Russell, that's his name. He was the main broadcaster for the USWA, and he was also the broadcaster for.
He is?
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Mr. Arknolia, how are you, sir?
There you are, Ken. Yes, Ken. Well, man, glad you're here, dude. Oh, man.
What's going on? You could put bait in this one.
Everything's going good, man.
Doing good, brother? What are you guys doing? The music show?
No, we're actually doing the one about the best and worst wrestling angles in the whole West there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, but we got. I know you've talked. Yeah, we got to get your take on what thought was cool and what was totally crapola there.
About what?
Do you remember the concession food fight?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yes, it was between, I guess,
Nashville.
Nashville. Yeah, I heard about that a lot of times.
It involved the guy that later became the Honky Tonk Man, but I can't remember his name.
Wade Ferris. Wade Ferris is the name there.
Yeah.
And he was, I guess,
But they went down in the concession stand area and beat the heck out of each other with ketchup and mustard and whatever else they could lay their hands on.
Times too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's up, YR?
Yo, Keith and Dave just won the tag team titles. What the fuck?
YR has this wrestling game that he has going on right now with members of this community as pro wrestlers there.
Oh, fuck that shit, man. That stupid ass shit. No, I'm just kidding. I liked it. It's pretty cool.
Can he go on with the pro violence stuff, or?
Yeah, possibly. I got mega proof, bro. Like, I can't even. I wish I could show you guys right now if you want to see.
Yes, definitely.
I have a question to Ken. Can I please ask it to Ken?
Dude, this idiot said that I was the only person that knew something that was said in the chat. That's why he knew it was me. Well, I got proof that this idiot went and tweeted out what that thing was. He tweeted it out. So all these people saw it, and then someone took that information and trolled him in his chat by the name of Mr. Pickles. And guess who contacted me today? Mr. Pickles.
Oh,
and
wow.
he contacted me and said, I can't believe that this guy thinks you're me. And he said, I kept telling him in his chat that it's not you, it's not Kenny, it's someone else, it's not Kenny. And he just didn't care. He just wanted to say it was you. So I have proof of that right now that he tweeted that out. I got the actual tweet. And the date, all the dates, everything.
Ken doesn't understand that a pro violence is the ugliest person in the community. Imagine having that on your. Come on.
Dude, I'm not even talking about his looks ugly. He's like fucking inside ugly, bro. Like this guy
he's a piece of shit.
He got trolled for a year now. He's been going after my wife and myself for a year now. And I kept saying to myself, I can't believe this guy thinks that I would troll him. And he goes, you mentioned something I only told you and one other person. And I'm like, all of a sudden, somebody hits me up today, the guy, Mr. Pickles, and sends me the fucking tweet that this guy put out talking about that very situation that he said only I knew. He tweeted it out.
Damn.
Multiple people knew about it. And this guy who trolled him, who's Mr. Pickles, hit me up and said, dude, this guy thought you were me. And I was like, yeah, this guy thought I was you for like a year now.
Wow.
And he said that I told him. And he goes, well, I knew. I go, how did you know what he said only I knew? And he said, I knew it because he tweeted it. And he didn't tell anybody that he tweeted it out, did he? And I said, no, he didn't say anything about that at all. So he's all fucked up, dude.
The funniest thing about this piece of shit who looks like AJ Styles on crack, Oh my god.
I got
Dude.
No,
I got
the
Oh,
most
dude.
fucked up thing is like he got married in your T-shirt.
Yeah,
It's like
Ken
what the
pointed it
fuck?
out yesterday.
That's enough said anyway, right there, you know. And I was going to go on originally and play Real Talk's voice messages because, okay, this is what this guy is claiming. Listen to this shit. You guys tell me if this sounds normal, okay? This guy is saying, okay, so Real Talk hit me up on the 17th, right? And he had a conversation with me on October 17th about pro violence, right? And he died 4 or 5 days later.
Wow.
Wow, man.
Right? This guy is claiming that he squashed the beef and became friends with this guy after that.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he squashed the beef and became friends with him 2 or 3 days before he died? I don't think so.
Right.
Because I was the one who told Pro Violence that Real Talk died. I was the one who hit him up and told him about it, right? I have the proof. And when I told him about it, he cried like a baby and kept fucking telling me he felt rotten because the guy died with bad terms. Like they left off on bad terms with each other. He didn't get a chance to apologize and to make things right. So why would he fucking lie then and not lie now? You know what I mean? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Give me 3 minutes, then I have to go. But
Right.
In these next 3 minutes, here's my thoughts on Pro V. Basically, when I first got into the community, there was Pro V. He found me somehow on Skype. He was like, "Oh yeah, send this, donate to Ken, do this on this message." Like, why can't you donate? Like, why can't you donate? Like whatever. So I donated these stupid in this message. Like, oh, they were so fucking stupid. It's like, whatever. I'll message here from Pro V, and he messaged back to me. He's like, yeah, that's so fucking funny. I'm like, I don't really think it was funny. Like, I wouldn't have done that, but whatever. So that was pro violence. I was like, all right. So if you claim you make all this fucking money, but I don't think you do
Oh,
because
gosh.
if you did, you wouldn't
This
ask
guy-
me
yo,
to
he goes on
donate for you.
He says he went on Twitter and shit his pants for $10,000. This guy goes on fucking TikTok, shit his
And then
tells everybody that he made $10,000 on it. Like who
As
is
a-
bullshit, bro?
as I'm about to go, I'll leave with this. I checked out his TikTok.
Yeah.
There's no way in fuck he's making $10,000 for a video. All his videos are like 200 views, 100
Yeah.
views.
The guy's
No, you have to
delete-
make massive views to fucking make money on TikTok. No.
he's deleting
But-
this,
Sorry,
bro. You know
pro
what it is?
violent.
Dude, you know what it is? I'll tell you exactly what it is. I come to the conclusion of it. There was a ton of shit that he did on his channel where he was like, yo, what's up? This is now the West Coast Foul Mounts West Coast. I'm here in the casino with my wife. We got on our Foul Mount
What?
shirts. And I didn't even make a remark or like it or talk
Excuse
about
you,
it.
Ken. You should have said
You know?
ugly wife, not
You know
wife.
what?
Ugly
Listen,
wife.
that was
Ooh.
fucked up of that I didn't even notice this guy was doing shit like that, and I didn't notice it. And maybe that is my fault, but I think that is what the ultimate reason of him attacking me for a year now is over. I think it's over the fact that I didn't notice like the things he was doing and saying.
Got married in your brand T-shirt. Fuck,
Yeah,
this,
and
this
you know
guy's
what? In a
fucking
way-
nuts.
Yeah, but
He's
in
the
a way,
Joker.
like in a way, I understand why he's mad, but I don't excuse
Fuck
how
him.
he's doing this. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Fuck him.
I don't, because he's using Real Talk as bait and lying through his teeth because, you know, he cried to me on the phone and said, man, I can't believe I can't patch things up with this guy and he died. I feel so rotten over it. And I kept consoling this guy. And now all of a sudden he's saying he was friends with Real Talk. Then why would he say that to me on the phone? You telling me he put on an act when I
No.
told him Real Talk died? Because he didn't know Real Talk even died till I told him.
When
You
you
know?
said that though, Ken, it's like I don't want to make this guy feel bad. I'm like, oh my god, I could so see you doing that. I was like, I wouldn't either. It's like if the shoes were switched and that was the person that had to like break the news to pro violence. I'm like, sorry, this dude fucking hates you. You fucking suck. You kind of screwed him over. He hates you. I was like, no, I couldn't do it. It's like, never mind.
So
Yeah,
this is-
maybe you have a chance.
Blonin, I got Real Talk. Yeah, I'll be right in. I got Real Talk, right? On the 17th, like I said, 4 days before he passed away, telling me, dude, I don't think I could ever reconcile with that dude. Him and his wife are liars. They're both liars.
They look
Yeah.
like
Wow.
it too. They look shady.
Like they're
his
not
video,
good
his
people.
TikTok video is like, no, you don't, man. He's just.
But you know what?
I never got so like
People-
angry watching somebody. This fucker.
Listen, Guys, listen, at one point they were
Yes.
good people to me, bro. They would wish me happy birthday. They would fucking say nice things to me. They were cool to me. I had no problem with them. I wanted to hang out with them, my wife, his wife.
He's
Real
your
talk.
cable guy. He is your
Like,
cable guy, Jim Carrey.
but dude, I never could understand why he turned on me like he did. But now
Cable
that
guy.
I'm actually paying attention to all this now I could kind of see why he's doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? Because it's like he was like going out of his way for me and like saying all these great things about my channel and myself and wearing my shit all over the place and promoting.
Got
And,
married in it. I couldn't believe it.
yeah, dude. And like,
Get a receipt
and like
for that.
I didn't mention a word about it. I didn't say anything, and I maybe should have did the right thing, and I fucked up there. But this is no excuse to go and lie about Real Talk and all this shit because, like I said, I don't want to play Real Talk's recordings. I don't want to play them, but I can. 3-4 days before the guy died, I have him saying, "I will never, never, ever." Reconciliate with that guy. I don't want nothing to do with him. Him and his wife are liars. They are two.
Wow.
You cannot trust them.
Good.
That's what this guy said right out of his own mouth.
Piece of shit. He's the biggest fucking piece of shit I've ever fucking seen. It's like
Real Talk,
looking at him.
Yo, Pro Violence says he has Real Talk talking shit about me, saying, can this and can that. And you know what? Real Talk used to come to me and complain about me getting into drama. So I already know that Real Talk was pissed off at me a couple of times. He was. We talked about it. So you're not proving anything that nobody knows about. You know what I mean? He's like,
here's a different Ken, though. This guy hung out with him. So this guy, if he actually hang out with someone in real life, he knows this fucking person is a piece of fucking shit. Yeah, it's like he knows personally.
I'm telling you, Blonin and I begged Real Talk to come and you could even see, like, if I showed everything, you would see where I said to Pro Violence and I said to Real Talk, yo, I don't want to see you guys fighting, man. Like, you guys being friends with each other was a cool thing. Like, I really thought it was like, a cool thing. You're hanging out with each other's wives and going out to bars and clubs and, really making like a friendship with it. And I thought it was cool. And then I thought to myself, damn, these two guys were that much friends, right? That now Pro Violence and Real Talk wants nothing to do with him or his wife now. Like, what the fuck?
And that's a huge exclamation point. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, and that's why I kept asking him, like, what the fuck did he do to you that you're this mad? And then Real Talk explained everything to me. And like I said, if I'm a dick, I can go on tonight and play all of Real Talk's messages. I wouldn't
do that if I were you. He knows. He knows he lost. He knows he lost.
I don't want to do that, bro. I don't want to do that. But I can send you guys something right now. Look, I'll send it to you on Skype right now, and then I got
definitely. Okay.
I'm gonna send you guys a little bit of proof here, real quick. Okay.
All right.
In the chat right now, I'm gonna send it in the Skype call thingy. So take a look at this, right?
All right.
And this was a tweet by Real Talk. I mean, by Pro Violence.
Pro B.
Okay.
Pro bitch.
You'll see it come up on the screen now. That was a tweet from Pro Violence talking about the very thing that he said he only told me and one other person. Well, guess what, buddy? You forgot that you fucking tweeted it out for everyone to see. And one troll named Mr. Pickles took that, went into your chat, said a bunch of shit, and you thought it was me. The guy even said, no, it's not Kenny, you asshole. You didn't believe him.
Why would you be Mr. Pickles of all people? That's the funniest thing. Is why the fuck would Ken?
Dude, I know, this guy who came up with that name.
Dude, I promised this guy
that that's not him.
I promised this dude that I would not say his name, his real name, because everybody knows him. All right, the guy Mr. Pickles, everybody knows who it is. I promised him I would not say his name, and I'm not going to. But this is a guy that everybody knows.
So you're not going to say my name tonight, Ken?
He took a bullshit account. He took the information that he saw on Twitter, and he went and he trolled fucking Pro Violence, and he trolled them so hard and so bad that this guy's been going after me for a year now over it.
Wow.
Well, Pro Violence is retarded though. He is stupid.
He is pretty stupid. Do you guys see that thing?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now, man.
I'm throwing the wife shit up.
See it, right?
Ugly fucking wife. Yes, he does.
I'm looking at it. Yes.
Yes, he does. Yes,
right?
he does.
And you could read it, right? You see where he says all this information on it. That's the thing that he said only I and one other person knew. But this guy put it on Twitter. So it's like, dude, your whole entire like thing that you're putting together is all snack fooeyed right there. You know what I mean? It's all fooeyed right there because you tweeted this out to people and they all knew about it, and they used it against you like trolls do, and they trolled the shit out of you. And you know what? You went after me for it, and that's all right, because you know what? I think you fucking can't stand me anyway, because I didn't pay any attention to you, and you didn't get enough attention. Because he's obviously like a look at me guy. Look at me, do my.
But Ken, why did he marry that ugly wife of his?
Used to go on the toilet.
Why?
My father used to smoke cigarettes, and I couldn't shit. And my father, $10,000. Oh no, look, another 10 grand. Oh, another 10 grand.
Oh, dude.
Fuck
Oh,
out
gosh.
He's the king of TikTok, everybody. He's the
Yeah,
fucking
Whoopi.
God. Give him $10,000.
Blown
He's
it, blown it.
He's fucking master.
Blown, I gotta throw in there, man. Blown, you remember when the Pro V was accusing me of being a meth head?
Oh, that was bullshit.
Exactly.
You're smart as fuck.
His
You're the
teeth
one.
fucking dyed white. How about he takes the 10 grand and has his teeth dyed white?
Oh, dude.
Christ's sake. Jesus Christ.
Let's go. I'm ready to go. Fuck it. Let's break down on his fucking wife on camera.
Oh,
Let's do it.
yeah.
I'm down.
Fuck
Anybody
it.
down?
Yeah,
Let's fucking do it. Because wife looks like a piece of shit, just like him.
Doctor,
Just like him. What comes around goes around.
What? Yo, we gotta do this later on this evening after done with the wrestling show. Yeah, definitely for shizzle. I give the guys we could keep the stream going, then we could have it all out there.
Yeah, I'll call you in a little bit if you're talking wrestling, all right?
All
Who's
right, gotcha.
uglier though?
All right,
Is it Pro V or his wife? Who's uglier?
At this point, they both are equally.
I don't know. Yeah, they're both hideous. They're both hideous creatures, disgusting creatures, and I can't believe how this guy, Pro V, who makes $10,000 per video on TikTok. I mean, why would he be communicating with us if he's making all that money? But he isn't, and he's stuck with his hideous looking wife. But he makes money. At least, hey, give him. His wife makes money while her husband, the AJ Styles, who didn't train wrestling but likes to do crack and meth. Okay, now he used to do all these fucking TikTok videos. That's him. That's him.
Gosh.
That's the only reason he married that hideous creature is because he has nothing going on for his fucking self.
Wow.
Fuck you, Pro V. Don't fuck with Ken. Don't fuck with anybody in this community because you're out of this community and nobody wants you back in. Just pretend, do your crack, do your meth, and do what you do because you and your ugly fucking wife, nobody wants to fucking see on camera. Keep her off camera. Keep her off camera, Pro V. Keep her off camera.
All
Nobody
right.
wants to see that. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's all I have to say.
All right, there. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Blonin, for your thoughts, opinions on this particular matter. There. Okay. And Blonin, what do you think? Since we're on the subject of best and worst wrestling angles, what do you think was your favorites and worst all time?
The worst wrestling angles or the best?
Well, both in this point. There, we're going through all the best and worst out there.
I think one of the worst wrestling angles in history was the NWO that kept on going on and on and on and on. They didn't kill it. Like it's like the bloodline, and it's so hot right now.
Yeah.
It's like it's good, but it reminds me similar to the NWO, but there was no filter on the NWO. They just kept on have different versions of it. It was like, come on, just kill it.
I think that when Vince Russo was running WCW, him trying to bring back the NWO was kind of a big mistake because there was no Hollywood Hogan, there was no Scott Hall, it was just Nash, Jeff Jarrett, and Bret Hart involved in it briefly. I guess it wasn't what it used to be, so it didn't really make it. And plus, remember the WWE tried to bring back the NWO, but that didn't play out. That failed miserably there. So I mean, you always got to remember
so that's almost like that. Almost answered your question. Now that I think about it, it's like, what's the best angle and the worst angle?
Yep.
The NWO. It was one of the best angles when they invaded, and then ended up being one of the worst angles when they kept on throwing it down people's throats.
And the reason why, when I said this before in the chat of some other program, it fits to say that the NWO were the Sex Pistols of pro wrestling. And Eric Bischoff, who came up with the idea, was Malcolm McLaren in the wrestling business area, if you know what I'm catching.
Yes.
Exactly, because and it couldn't, in a lot of ways, it couldn't come at a better time because Hulkamania was dead at this point. The scenery in the light, everyone has just switched over from to the other side there. Like Hulkamania was dead, it was buried, it was done. And plus, Hogan had to deal with that steroid controversy, a couple years earlier on. And plus, decided, hey, let's make Hulk Hogan the bad guy once again. Let's freak him out. Let's shock everybody. And we couldn't come at the perfect time because, the anti-hero was the main thing. The vengeful guy was the main thing. It's like there were no basic good guys anymore. All the good guys we knew in the past turned out to be heels in the end. They turned around and let us down. Hence all the televangelists back in the 1980s there. Wow. And so basically, it came at a perfect time.
That's true.
Marilyn Manson was a big hit at that time. People
Oh
were
my God! I mean,
looking
when
up to
Marilyn
him.
Manson got it, everybody was like, "Holy shit! Who is this person?"
Yeah.
Loved it. The Beautiful People, all the he did,
Nine Inch
remakes
Nails.
of songs.
Yep.
I loved his remakes. What was some of his remakes that he
Well,
did?
he did Tainted Love. He did Sweet
That
Dreams.
was,
Sweet Dreams.
yep.
I made of this. My bad. And I guess he tried to do Highway to Hell. Then not too good there. I remember hearing that version of that. But like when they brought back the NWO, it was just basically the trio like it was supposed to be. But Eric Bischoff was like, let's keep the momentum going. That's how you do it. Let's keep it
Bad
going.
decision.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when it became laughable there. All right. So you said you got to go, Proby? I mean, excuse me. Now, how dare I mention that asshole's name?
What a
Blonin. Yeah, no,
what
so
a yeah.
yeah.
All right. So if you can give 3 words, what do you think about Pro V?
Hypocritical
Would you
fool.
ask?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ark.
Well, I was wondering who he asked.
Well, he
I
was
don't know
asked.
the guy and ever.
Be glad. Be glad. You remember
Okay.
a couple years back, he called on Monetize this, say, what kind of crystal meth do you do?
Dr. Earl, you got to show up for SummerSlam. I'll be there in
All right.
Detroit.
In Detroit, well, sorry,
I
but
will be there.
but
If
out
you're
here,
there, I will be there. We can touch hands.
all right,
The first time.
all right, there. Shit, or shake hands either way there.
touch. No, not shake.
Either
touch
way,
hands.
yeah, it is. All right, all right, there. So you said you gotta hit the road there, blown in there.
Yeah, I gotta get going.
All right, there. Okay, then all right. Thank you, Joe Blonin and Farmouth
Thank you.
Ken. Thank you for being on the program and Farmouth Network. Excuse me,
I'll
Farmouth
see
can
you
be
at
on.
SummerSlam, and my hand will be very warm and willing to touch your hand, which will be very warm too.
Okay, there. All right. All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night. All right. Okay, so sorry about that, Arknolia. We had to get that scenario out of the way there because it had to be addressed. When we found out about the Pro V situation yesterday on the Ken's live program, I was like, really, 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 really. So we had to get that system out, out of our systems there. All right, so we'll allow Mr. Ark to continue with his favorite wrestling angles there.
This one is an old WCW angle.
Mm-hmm.
The Freebirds and the Von Erichs.
Wow,
that was
there.
a big time angle that lasted a long time.
All right, there, yeah, and that was the WCCW.
Right, and
nice.
basically, the Freebirds came into the territory, and they started out as good friends with the Von Erichs.
Mm-hmm.
Kerry, Kevin, and David at the time, and the Freebirds, of course, were Terry Gordy, Michael Hayes, and Buddy Roberts.
Yep.
And Kerry Von Erich, or David, I forget which one it was. I think it was Kerry, had a match with Ric Flair in a cage, and Michael Hayes was the special referee. And basically, Michael was trying to get Kerry to cheat, and Kerry wouldn't do it. And next thing you know, Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes are attacking Kerry Von Erich and pretty much cost him the match, which,
Mm-hmm.
you know, was what it was. And that started off the big, big feud between those factions. And it went on and on and on. They even created the 3-man tag team title to have them have something to fight over.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the Von Erichs had the upper hand. Then the Freebirds had the upper hand. Then the Vargas. It just they kept doing stuff on and lasted for a pretty good long time, and sorry
It's
was a
okay.
pretty drawn out feud.
Well, yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. I remember one of the interesting angles was, of course, the beef between Dusty Rhodes and, of course, Ric Flair. That was going on for many years there. In fact, it got to the point where the members of the original Horsemen, Flair, Tully Blanchard, Ole, and Arn Anderson, had Dusty Rhodes up to a back, held hands up to arms held up to a car, and supposedly slammed a car door on Dusty's fingers, which, of course, would
Yeah,
never happen there. We don't know whether it was faked or otherwise, because in the later matches, Dusty Rhodes they have this bandage, but he's still able to hit with no problem there.
right.
I mean, the beats between those two was like massively legendary there.
And another one that only lasted not a long time, although they had beef for a while. Jake the Snake Roberts and Randy Savage.
Oh wow, interesting there.
Randy Savage went to the ring to confront him, and Jake the Snake tied him up in the ropes,
Mm,
pulled out Damien, and had Damien bite him.
wow.
And
Right in the, and by the way, that it was a cobra. It was a cobra, by the way, and by the way, the cobra was devenomized, meaning there was no venom in him.
yep,
But that I remember seeing that. It's like holy cow! And then they cut to this little boy crying crying his heart
yeah.
out at the way he's
You
seeing it.
don't
It's like,
think it looked real?
oh man, it was real. Well,
That little boy was convinced.
yeah, he was because at a young age, that's a hard to see there. I know in the future episodes when they're spotlighting that had to be kind of like a what they call the red thing. There is no whatever they call it. They had to cross out that particular scene because that was like what that was something to watch, man. Holy cow!
Yeah,
But like I
yeah. I
said,
mean, Snake actually bit him.
yep, exactly. And by the way, as we stated, that snake was devenomized. They probably sucked out all the venom out of him, and so he was okay to go there. They just probably paid or had that snake loaded into him. And this was a cobra. Keep in mind, this was a cobra with the big two sharp teeth. Oh man, that was something to watch. That's for sure. There.
Brian, if you want to put it on my channel real quick, you're coming out of the your entrance.
Like
Your entrance.
coming on my entrance.
Yes,
Hmm.
your entrance.
Hmm.
You have a black robe, gothic robe.
Where at? Which was what's this at the put the photo in the chat there.
It's on
See
my
what
channel. Live right now.
I'm live. Yes.
No, I'm live right now. Go to my channel. I'll show you, and you'll
Okay.
see.
Let me give me a couple of minutes here because blah blah blah. Come on, come on. Okay, let me do this here. Blah blah blah. Trying to find. It's called Hockey Channel. Give you a few literature. All right, go ahead, Ark. I gotta find the what wires. Go ahead.
Okay, the next one I have is Hell in a Cell with Undertaker and Mankind.
Oh my
That,
gosh.
if you've never seen it, oh, I thought Mankind was dead.
Well, we
Couple
all
of
know what you're
times.
talking about, there, man. Man, that was a true. That was a one. You can imagine the audience in that whole arena
Yeah,
was in shock after they saw that.
yeah, you could even see in the Undertaker's eyes he thought he killed him. It's
Exactly.
like, oh, what have I done?
And and also it was mankind's idea to do that. That was no code mankind.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. He encouraged him to do that. Like a lot of times, wrestlers or other encourage your opponents to do this to them, even though the opponent probably doesn't want to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I would tell the audience here that any of the stuff that I'm describing anyway is on YouTube or was. I assume it still is.
Yep.
If you want to actually see what happened,
Right.
including the concession fight. Next,
Yep. Go ahead.
next one,
Go ahead there.
next one I got is Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty in the Brutus the Barber Beefcake segment,
Oh
where
wow.
Shawn Michaels sent Jannetty through a window. They broke up the Rockers at that point. That was kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I see there. Yeah. Wow. Oh man, I
I
remember.
don't know if you've
So
seen that
back
one
to
or
the
not.
drama.
Oh shit.
Let's go back to the drama.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Okay.
not.
YR, what's the fuss about with Ken?
I don't know. Was it? What was it? I wasn't paying attention. What was it?
I don't know. He posted a picture in the Skype chat and something about I
Pro
think pro
V.
violence.
Yeah, it
Talking about
was.
Pro V or something? I don't
What
know.
up? I
Well,
Yeah, but
Dr. Arrow, you were looking sharp on Ken's show, man.
yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm looking at it from what Ken just put in the chat there. I guess this is a response pro dorky there.
I want to give Arknolia a big shout out. I want to give him his flowers for being so
Yo,
cool.
RP, go to my stream right now. I made a Keith character.
Really?
Yeah, did you see it?
I'm about to.
Oh my god. It's the best one
Keithy
I've
boy.
ever did. It looks just like him, bro.
Keithy boy.
All right.
When do the Rangers play?
RP, what do you what's your favorite wrestling
Angle.
I would say Batista versus Triple H Evolution when they were breaking up.
Wow.
I like the story, and then Batista becoming champion of SmackDown.
Ah, nice.
It all led up to Batista winning the championship of SmackDown.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the whole situation between him and the rest of Evolution there.
I know it's kind of corny, but whatever.
Yeah.
What about you, Dr. Brown?
I think of my favorite wrestling angles was the beef between Steve Austin and Mr. McMahon, because everyone who was who works at a union corporation, I could tell you how they can relate to Steve Austin a lot, with the corporate executives coming down on him and everything else there. Plus, corporate being the other C word throughout the 1990s there. And plus, the NWO was a pretty damn good angle because that sparked off all these NWO shirts. People caught on to that. At the same time, Marilyn Manson made it big. So definitely, I remember seeing a lot of goth kids at some of the clubs wearing NWO shirts, black and white, for shizzle. Because it was about anti-establishment and rebellion, which were the
Keith,
two
bro.
main things in the 1990s.
Bro. You watching this?
I'm looking at it right now, man.
Why is Keith humping the top of the
Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, I'm wearing a Stone Cold leather vest. Damn. I look like a rock star. Definitely. Right there. Right there. Shh. Like, Ark, you ready there, man?
Yeah, my next one, I think, was again either in Georgia Championship Wrestling or Mid South. Jim Cornette during a match with his guys and Ronnie Garvin and whoever Ronnie Garvin's partner was, I don't remember off the top of my head. He kind of snuck into the ring, and and lit one of those flash things,
Ah,
that
yeah.
does a
Yes.
flash of fire or whatever, right
Yes.
into Ronnie Garvin's face.
Yep.
And boy, they played that up big time and
And right,
turned Jimmy Garvin uh,
his
face
brother.
again.
Yes, because Jimmy
Yeah,
Garvin
'cause
was a heel there. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. He came in to help his brother Ronnie out. And of course, Jimmy Garvin went into the heels locker room and started smashing all over Cornette. And that was very,
yeah,
very
it
well
was.
played.
Yeah, that whole thing was well played, and they stretched it out for several weeks with, Ronnie having the facial issues and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. But man, when that happened, I wish I could remember. Barry Windham
Very
was
winning. Ah, I see.
Jerry Garvin's partner.
I see there.
Well, sometime we ought to talk about some of the old time wrestlers too, one of these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, definitely for shizzle because if people so look, because when they think of superstars, they think of Randy Orton, Bautista, Roman Reigns. They need to know about wrestlers in the past, like for example, one person I admire, Sputnik Monroe, who was one of the second
Yeah,
biggest names in the Memphis wrestling area there, as well as a civil rights pioneer.
yeah. Okay, next one I got was an interesting one in WCW
Hmm.
when Raven had his flock there,
Oh
and they'd come
yeah.
sit at ringside,
Yep.
and they'd basically sit there and watch the matches and whatever, and that
Yep.
was his group of buddies.
Yeah. His flock.
And yeah, it was interesting to watch that because you didn't know what was going to happen next,
Yep.
what they were going to get involved with, what they were going to do.
What about me?
And of
What
course,
about
Steve Rogers,
Raven? Remember that?
what was it, Steve Richards was trying to be his go between WCW and him, doing his bit. Steve Richards was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And Stevie Richards was involved with ECW later on with in the WWE. And who cannot forget that group he had with Ivory, the Good Father, he was now known
The
as.
right to censor or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yes, it was. It was the right to censor. But you know what? And the kind of what a lot of people were saying that angle, that faction predicted what was going to come on social media and YouTube nowadays. When you think about it.
Yeah, yeah. And my next angle that I got a big kick out of was the Wyatt family.
Oh my gosh.
Bray
Oh,
Wyatt was quite a guy. I mean,
he was. He still
and I
is.
love the theme song. I love the old Wyatt family theme song. That was deep and dark and pretty darn good, actually.
Exactly because and the
But but they had Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and
Eric
heck
Rowan.
was that other guy's name?
Eric.
Eric Rowan, yeah.
Yes. And for a while they had, I guess,
And
Braun Strowman.
yeah, they had him at the very beginning and then broke him out for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that whole thing with them was fun and spooky too,
It was
which was
exactly.
kind of what made it cool for me.
And what the best of it that the persona Bray was portraying that one cult leader from the South. We've seen many in many
Yeah,
movies. Like Meeple touched on that. They definitely identify with that character. That's for sure. There.
they should. Well, the WWE did what they usually do. They screwed up the angle,
Yep.
but it was a good one.
It was. You know what? It was. It was definitely fits to say that when Riot was let go from the WWE about a year and a half ago, the whole WWE universe was pissed off. I mean, there was footages of out there of people chanting, "We want Wyatt, we want Wyatt," because they missed the guy. And when he finally made his return at that one pay-per-view, when he took off the mask holding that lantern, the audience went crazy, crazy. I guess another good angle Wyatt had was the Fiend. That was another one. Him and
Yeah,
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, that was a pretty good matchup too. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, my next one I got here is when Randy Orton took on the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Basically, he kind of beat him and all that stuff, and they were celebrating it later, and his droids brought out, or druids or whatever they are,
Yep.
brought out the casket,
Mm-hmm.
had lightning strike from the ceiling and blow it up and open it. And there was Undertaker.
Yep.
Randy looked scared to death.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think they kind of like it was. Let's not forget the angle between Undertaker and his half brother Kane.
Oh yeah.
That was an interesting thing there because like this was some family drama and a half. Like a funeral occurs at the funeral parlor that they live with their mom and dad. Of course, taking the lives of mom and dad. Of course, and apparently Paul Bearer, who turned against the Undertaker, rest in peace to him, the former Percy Pringle. He come
Hmm.
he says he brings the survivor of that funeral parlor fire, and apparently the story was Kane's face was like messed up from that fire. It was deformed as such, and I guess
Right.
it's I guess when they finally got Kane to take off the mask at the end of that one match, I think of them with Chris Jericho. I kind of like killed off that old Kane, but it also brought in a new Kane, a bald headed,
Yeah.
one contact wearing, monster, it was a different Kane, that's for sure there. And by the way, credit to Glenn Jacobs, who by the way is now the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee. He also was Doomsday in the USWA there, and he was also the fake Diesel for a while, just as well there.
Hmm.
He was also Doctor
And the
I.
dentist stuff got
Yep, Doctor.
Isaac Yankum.
Yep, mm-hmm. He was supposed to take on Bret Hart there. All right, there. All right, so.
Okay, next one I got
Mm-hmm.
is from TNA,
Mm-hmm.
the Rosemary thing.
Ah.
That girl is creepy. I don't know if you ever seen any of that
Yes,
stuff.
I heard. Yes, so she's portrayed by a female wrestler from Canada named Courtney Rush, and she
Yep.
fits. She does the gimmick damn good, very damn good. Needless to
Oh
say.
yeah. Yeah.
She stays in character, and she got lots of praise for that. So let's not forget the Living Dead girl Abaddon, who wrestles with AEW. She's got a pretty good gimmick as well. There, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Now we got
And
to
the
go.
last good angle I go ahead.
Go ahead, there.
I was gonna say the last good angle I've got written down is also TNA.
Uh huh.
Matt Hardy and his broken character.
Oh my gosh, that was a. I think now, if I'm correct, Matt Hardy had that copyrighted that gimmick. If I'm correct.
Yeah, he couldn't carry it over to WWE for some reason, and he became woke instead
Yes.
of broke.
Yeah, because of I guess for some reason there, I know I kept probably a copyright. I guess something. I guess a broken character was copyrighted by TNA. I'm not too sure what the deal was. Now,
Well, they claimed it.
yeah, that's true there. Now we got to go over some of the crappy angles that we've seen in pro wrestling. Now let me
Oh
start
yeah.
off. Let me start off with probably one of the worst cheesy gimmicks I ever saw. The Goon coming into the WWF as it was
Hmm.
known at the time. This was actually Wild Bill Irwin with his haircut, a little bit of curly hair here, wearing a hockey uniform, carrying a hockey stick, shaved off his beard and everything. And Wild Bill Irwin was this wild cowboy, psycho guy there. And they decided to, basically, that character was kind of like a take on Bob Probert of the Detroit Red Wings, who was a bad boy in his own right. He was getting in trouble with the law here and there. He was getting fined and often suspended by the Red Wings management here. Definitely look him up on Wikipedia if you know what I'm talking about there. I don't know if he's still active in
And Wild
hockey.
Bill Irwin,
Yep, absolutely.
Wild Bill Irwin wrestled in WCCW
Yep,
as Wild Bill Irwin, and he was a biker supposedly. He had a brother.
yep.
I forgot his name, but it was obviously Irvin,
hmm
but I forgot his name. I want to say it was Will, but I could be wrong.
All right, there. All right.
My first bad angle,
Mm-hmm.
beaver cleavage. What were they thinking?
Oh my gosh, that's a new one. That's the name of a porn movie for crying out loud. And which company was this?
WWE or
Oh my.
F, or whatever they were at that time.
Well, it's like.
But basically, it was a beaver. It was a beaver cleaver type guy
Mm-hmm.
with June Cleaver coming out with him, low cut stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
of course he was obsessed with that area. And
Oh my gosh.
you get the picture. It was just awful.
Oh gosh. Sure. Oh gosh. Here was a. Here's an angle that was almost life threatening, and it had occurred in ECW, the mass transit incident involving the late
Oh
New
yeah,
Jack. That was but that was, and I say it's I don't know
he
if it was
damn near killed a guy.
exactly, it was bad, and the reason I say it's bad because like the lawsuits that would occur afterwards, and the guy passing away later on from other complications, and the reputation that leaned towards the ECW camp there because people were like Jim Cornette and others condemning that were condemning that company for hitting each other with light bulbs and shovels and everything else
Right.
But then again, it was like an alternative to the WWF. With of course, it was alternative to WCW. But a lot of them
Right.
people emerged from the ECW, like Rob Van Dam, Steve Austin. He was involved with that company for a brief short while. Sabu, who I spoke about earlier, the Dearborn, Michigan native there. And plus, we cannot forget, CM Punk. He was involved with that company for a long while there.
Yep. Now here's another angle that you probably remember. It's kind of like I can just say a name, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Katie Vick.
Katie Vick. Katie Vick.
That was the dead sister. The dead sister of Undertaker and Kane.
Really?
Triple H went to the funeral parlor and
Banged, huh?
got into the coffin and had
Oh,
sex with her.
oh my gosh. Kind of like a take on the Alice Cooper song, I Love the Dead. That was something there. I know a lot of people were
That
not
was
happy about
one
that.
sick angle.
It was, absolutely, man.
And then there was one where I think it was Goldust's wife. I'm trying to remember her name. Terry Reynolds.
Terry Rondo's Melina.
She supposedly had a baby and carried it to the ring and trying to remember who the wrestler was.
Val Venus?
Kicked the baby out of the ring. No.
No.
One of the big guys.
Um,
I can't remember who it was. Actually picked up the baby and drop kicked it out of the ring. Like, what in the world is wrong with you?
Oh gosh.
Then of course there was Trish Stratus crawling around the ring barking like a dog for Vince while he had her on a leash and all that.
Mr. McMahon, yep.
Yeah. How did you dream this stuff up?
Well, this was after
And
Vince.
then do you remember
Go ahead.
Do you remember the one man gang?
Yes, I remember him. Oh my gosh, I know where you're going.
He supposedly went to
Africa,
found his roots, and came back as what, Akeem?
Akeem, yes, that was stupid as hell, man. But then again, some of that was supposed to give gateway to another pro wrestler from Africa, Saba Simba, portrayed by Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. And I guess the idea was Saba Simba would cut a promo saying, we will meet in the ring and we will decide who the true Prince of Africa is. That was I was going to lead up to that match, but I guess Saba Simba didn't last long, unfortunately. I guess he either Atlas got cut or he decided to leave, But at that time, the WWF was getting sorts of flack by a lot of other wrestling magazines or promotions for being too much of a circus. You got to remember, around that time,
Yeah.
it was a character-based company. And by the way, here was another character I wasn't really into. Duke the Dumpster Droshi.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Time to take
And the
out the
Repo Man.
trash. Oh my gosh. That was, by the way, Barry Darsow, the man who betrayed him, he was also Crusher Khrushchev with the Russians and NWA. He was also
Right.
one of the guys in Demolition, the Road Warriors ripoff.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So Darsaw.
And of course,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead. But I got credit to
I was gonna say,
Darsaw. No, I got my bad. Go ahead, dude.
you remember? Do you remember the night that Rick Rude was on Raw,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden on the same night he showed up on Nitro?
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the big that. Well, Raw was taped prior to that
Right.
previous time, and Rude left the WWF immediately after the Montreal screw job occurred. He was so pissed off. Mick Foley was pissed off. Like everybody was pissed off. Undertaker even went
Yeah,
up to
that was.
he went up to Vince McMahon and said, "You better apologize to Bret Hart. You done him wrong. At that time, man, because a lot of people agreed, but in the good sense that that gave birth to the Mr. McMahon character, and will also give gateway to the Attitude Era. And the Attitude Era was
Right.
probably one of the biggest times in professional wrestling, along with the NWO angle in WCW. Here's an angle I gotta throw in that was completely cheesy and also disrespectful to someone in the WWF. The character Oklahoma. It was a parody of Jim
Oh
Ross,
yeah.
portrayed by Ed Ferreira, who was Vince Russo's writing partner in the WWF. Russo brought him into WCW to kind of like mock the Bell's palsy that Jim Ross has. And at that time, Ross.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, I know. Jim Cornette was not happy about it. Other people were not happy about it. And at that time, Russo was pissed off at the WWF, especially Vince McMahon. And the story was that, Russo was working overtime. He hadn't seen his wife and kids in a while. And apparently he mentioned this to Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon simply said, why don't you just get a nanny? Which pissed off Russo because, Russo being Italian, family is everything. But then again, Vince McMahon, it's like his family works with him, so he doesn't really understand that process. The next day,
Right.
that same day, Russo was on the call with J.J. Dillon, who was one of the WCW executives. And I guess that character was kind of like a way of mocking the WWF. And there was also other mocking of the WWF just as well. Kevin Nash coming out dressed with makeup as Vince McMahon, believe it or not. And of course, nowadays Russo looks back on that Oklahoma character with such regret. He didn't want to make fun of Jim. He wanted to get Jim dragged into the whole thing. But, at that time, when you're pissed off at someone and their associates, you're going to go all out. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Yes. Oh, boy.
Well, I guess we haven't run that angles, but that's all the ones we can think of.
I know. Well, there's another.
And
There's another angle that I should throw in there, just for the sake of it. And a lot of people say this angle was not that good. The WCW ECW invasion of the WWF. Shane McMahon supposedly purchases WCW instead of Vince. Stephanie McMahon purchases ECW from Paul Heyman. They tried to bring those two companies together to take down the WWF. And of course, eventually, in the end, the WWF was verged victorious. But during that time, we would see Stone Cold Steve Austin, the hero, become the bad guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were not happy about that. People was very shocked when Vince McMahon came into the ring after Austin defeats The Rock with illegally, of course, and shakes hands with the devil himself there. A lot of people were shocked and upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I guess Wednesday we're
Mm-hmm.
going to start the 90s and see what happens.
Okay, there,
I don't
definitely.
have a lot of hope of us going and saying, "Oh, this is pretty good."
All right.
We'll run into some good stuff, but
All right.
by and large.
All right. Yeah, definitely there. All right. So, I guess I don't know if YR is. I guess YR is muted at this point there. I'm right now. I'm also looking at the wrestling show that he has on his channel there. And I guess
Yeah, and
next.
then
No, go ahead.
thir- next Thursday we'll do another wrestling, and what I have the idea of doing is
Mm-hmm.
finishers.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite finishers
Oh
and the
yeah,
finishers you thought were stupid.
I know. Yeah. All right. Definitely got to look into that one. All right. So, thanks special thanks for Foulmouth Ken, Joe Blonin, Byrd for coming in and hanging with us. And for YR, for Arknolia, and for myself, you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. You guys have a good one, okay, guys and gals? Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And well, I was going to tell YR goodbye, but he left.
All right. What?
Okay, bye.
All right, there. And also don't forget to subscribe to Ark's Patreon, patreon.com/Arknolia. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Ark's channel. All right, and subscribe to YR's channel, Hockey Channel 360